Hello dear students, welcome to lecture 5 on the chapter electromagnetic induction. In the last lecture, we discussed about eddy currents and its applications, and then we discussed about inductance and self-inductance. In this lecture, we are going to discuss on energy stored in an inductor, and then we'll be discussing on mutual inductance. Now, let us discuss these two topics one by one. Energy stored in an inductor. Okay, first let us see what is inductor. A device having self-inductance is called an inductor. Okay, this coil is an inductor. Okay, this coil has self-inductance, hence we call this device as inductor. In the last session, we studied that when a current is flowing through the coil, an EMF is induced, and that EMF is called as self-induced EMF, and that EMF opposes the change in current in the circuit. Hence that EMF is called back EMF. We need to do work against this back EMF to establish a current in the circuit, and this work done is stored as magnetic potential energy in the coil. Now, let us derive an expression for energy stored in the inductor. Okay, if I is a current at any instant of time in a coil, then the rate of work done is given by dW by dt is equal to E into I, where E is induced EMF and I is current flowing through the coil. And we know that induced EMF is given by E equal to L into di by dt, where L is self-inductance. And putting the value of E in the above equation, we get dW by dt is equal to L into di by dt into I. See, on left hand side and right hand side we have dt, and these two dt's will get cancelled. And further, we get dW is equal to L into I into di. Okay, this is a small work done in generating small amount of current. Now, total work done in establishing the current I is W is equal to integration of dW, that is equal to integration of 0 to I L into I into di. That means we are substituting the expression of W here, and here the current is increasing from 0 to maximum. Okay, that maximum value is I. Since for a given coil inductance, self-inductance is constant, I will take it outside the integration. That is equal to L into integration of 0 to I into di is equal to, okay, after integrating this we get 1 by 2 into L into I square. Okay, this is the total work done in establishing a current I, that is equal to 1 by 2 into L into I square, and this work done is stored as potential energy in a inductance coil, and therefore we can express magnetic potential energy stored in an inductor of self-inductance L carrying a current is given by U equal to 1 by 2 into L into I square. Okay, this is the expression to calculate the magnetic potential energy stored in an inductor. Mutual inductance. The phenomena in which an EMF is induced in one coil due to the variation of current in another coil is called mutual inductance. Here we have two coils, coil 1 and coil 2, and coil 1 is connected to a battery, and this battery will supply a current to coil 1, When a current flows through this coil, a magnetic field is produced, and due to this magnetic field there is change in the magnetic flux linked with the second coil, and due to this change in magnetic flux an EMF is induced in the second coil, and this phenomena is called mutual inductance. Next, coefficient of mutual induction or mutual inductance. Let phi be the magnetic flux linked with the secondary coil when a current I flows through primary coil, and it is found that phi is directly proportional to I. That means flux increases when there is increase in the current. Then we can write the above equation as phi b equal to m into I, where m is a constant called the coefficient of self-induction or self-inductance. Okay, if current flowing through the coil is unity, okay, when you put this I equal to 1 in this equation, we get m equal to phi, that is mutual inductance is equal to magnetic flux. Then we can say that the mutual inductance of two coils is numerically equal to the magnetic flux linked with one coil when unit current flows through the another coil. The EMF induced in a coil is given by E equal to minus d phi divided by dt, that is equal to minus d into mi divided by dt, that is equal to minus m into di divided by dt. Okay, here for a given pair of coils m is constant. What is changing here? Current is changing. Therefore I have written this expression as E equal to minus m into di divided by dt. Okay, this is the EMF induced in the secondary coil. If di by dt is equal to 1, then m is equal to induced EMF, that is E. Thus, the mutual inductance of two coils is numerically equal to the EMF induced in one coil when the rate of change of current in other coil is unity. Okay, in the both the cases, we have shown that mutual inductance is equal to magnetic flux. In second case, we have shown that mutual inductance is equal to magnitude of induced EMF. The SI unit of mutual inductance is Henry. Okay, now let us define 1 Henry in terms of mutual inductance. If E equal to 1 volt and di by dt is equal to 1 ampere per second, then M is equal to 1 H. That is, mutual inductance is equal to 1 Henry. Okay, now let us define 1 Henry. Mutual inductance of two coils is 1 Henry if 1 volt EMF is induced in one coil when the current in the other coil changes at the rate of 1 ampere per second. Okay, this is the definition for 1 Henry. Okay, now let us discuss mutual inductance of two long coaxial solenoids. Consider two coaxial solenoids S1 and S2 of each length L. Okay, we have the arrangement of S1 and S2. They are arranged coaxially and length of each coil is L. Let small n1 and n2 be the number of turns per unit length of coil S1 and S2. R1 and R2 be the radius of coil S1 and S2. Okay, here R1 is the radius of S1 and R2 is the radius of S2. Capital N1 and N2 be the total number of turns of coils S1 and S2. Okay, here capital N1 is the total number of turns in S1 and N2 is the total number of turns in S2. Okay, let us imagine that current I2 is flowing through S2. Okay, when current I2 flows through S2, then a magnetic flux is linked with S1 and that magnetic flux is given by phi1. The magnetic flux linked with S1 is given by N1 phi1 is equal to M12 into I2. Okay, let this equation be 1, where M12 is the mutual inductance of solenoid S1 with respect to S2. The magnetic field due to current I2 in S2 is given by B2 is equal to mu naught N2 into I. Okay, this we got it from the expression of magnetic field inside the solenoid, and this we have discussed in moving charges and magnetism. Then we can write magnetic flux in another form, that is N1 phi1 is equal to N2 B2 A1, where N1 is total number of turns in coil S1 and A1 is area of coil S1. Then above equation we can write it as N1L into mu naught into N2 into I2 into pi R1 square, that is equal to mu naught N1 N2 pi R1 square into L into I2. Okay, let this equation be 2, where N1 is equal to small n1 into L and A1 is equal to pi R1 square, and this is cross-sectional area of S1. Now from equation number 1 and 2, see we have equation 1 here and equation 2. When you equate equation 1 and 2, we get M1 2 into I2 is equal to mu naught N1 N2 pi R1 square into L into I2. Okay, we have I2 on both sides and these I2s will get cancelled, and further we get M12 is equal to mu naught N1 N2 pi R1 square into L. Okay, let this equation be 3. Okay, now consider a reverse case. Let a current I1 flow through solenoid S1, resulting in development of magnetic flux phi2 through S2. The magnetic flux linked with S2 is given by N2 phi2 is equal to M21 into I1. Okay, let this equation be 4, where M21 is the mutual inductance of solenoid S2 with respect to solenoid S1. The magnetic field due to current I1 in S1 is given by B1 is equal to mu naught N1 into I1, and we can write magnetic flux through S2 in another form, that is N2 phi2 is equal to N2 B1 A2, that is equal to N2 into L into mu naught N1 L1 into pi R1 square. Why I am writing pi R1 square here? See, whatever the magnetic field is produced here, that is linked only with this area. Therefore, the area having magnetic field is equal to this, that is pi R1 square, that is equal to mu naught N1 N2 pi R1 square into L into I1. Okay, let this equation be 5. Okay, where N2 is N2 into L and A2 is equal to A1, that is equal to pi R1 square. That's why I have written here as pi R1 square. Okay, here see, the complete area is not linked with magnetic flux. Only this much of area is linked with or it is only this much of area. In this much of area, magnetic field lines are passing. Therefore, we equate A2 as A1, that is equal to pi R1 square. From equation number 4 and 5, see, from equation number 4 and 5, we can write as M21 into I1 is equal to mu naught N1 into pi R1 square into L into I1, and this I1 and this I1 will get cancelled, and therefore M21 is equal to mu naught N1 N2 pi R1 square into L. Okay, let this equation be 6. Thus, from equation number 3 and 6, okay, both are representing with same quantities. Therefore, we can show that M12 is equal to M21, that is equal to M, that is equal to mu naught N1 N2 pi R1 square into L. The mutual inductance of two coils depends upon their geometry. Depends on their geometry, that is, it depends upon number of turns in coil 1 and 2. It depends upon the area, and it also depends on length. Hence we say that it depends on geometry, and it also depends on separation between the two coils, and it also depends on relative orientation. If magnetic material is inserted in the coil of relative permeability mu r, then mutual inductance is given by mu r into mu naught into N1 into N2 pi R1 square into L. Consider the general case of the currents flowing through two coils simultaneously. The flux linked with one coil will be the sum of two fluxes which exist independently, and it is given by N1 phi1 is equal to M11 into I1 plus M12 into I2, where M11 represents inductance due to the same coil and M21 represents mutual inductance of S1 with respect to S2. Then using Faraday's law, we can write induced EMF E1 is equal to minus M11 into dI1 divided by dt minus M12 into dI2 divided by dt. Here M11 is nothing but self-inductance and is written as L1. Therefore, E1 is equal to minus L1 dI1 by dt minus M2 dI2 divided by dt. Okay, this is the EMF induced in first coil due to the flow of current in both the coils. Thank you, students, and we shall study some more topics in the next lecture.